So, hi everybody. My name is Sabrina. I work for Briars in the UK. I am myself based in the United States. I'm an HR professional with over 20 years of experience in HR across the country, which is why I am their US HR expert. Next slide, please. So, as a part of coming to the United States and looking at it from an HR perspective, it's a very attractive landscape, but a very complex one, right? It has the world's largest economy, but everything is decentralized. So, not only are there federal government rules and regulations, but there are state rules and regulations as well as county and city, much like was discussed previously. Things could change from neighborhood to neighborhood or, city to city. And so it's very important to understand, excuse me, that when you're coming to the United States, you have to be very aware of what you're getting yourself into. Like has also been talked about in previous sessions, there are different tax rates in the state. There's income tax, sales tax, unemployment tax. So a lot of different types of things to worry about, including employment laws that vary from state to state, as well as employment laws at the federal level. There is a hyper competitive talent market. People are, especially in industries like tech or biotech, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people looking for those roles, and the different markets also have different pricing, whether it's salaries, benefits, and expectations. It is often less than 30 days for in-demand roles, and one of the key things that the US talent market is looking for is a quick turnaround in their recruiting process. Otherwise, you may lose out on talent because they may get an offer from another business or more than one in that same time that you're interviewing them. So it is a very quick turnaround. And really, your first hire here in the United States is foundational. They are going to act as your ambassador in the country and help with recruiting and being that face for getting other talent in the country. And as it says, a poor first hire can cost 3 to 5 times their annual salary if you have to replace them or you struggle to grow because they were not a good fit. Next slide, please. Okay, so some of the big differences here in the United States, at-will employment is standard and there are no contracts. What this means is that you can terminate employees at any time without cause, but as long as there are not discrimination reasons involved. And so that's something you want to make sure is very careful of, but there are no contracts. So there is no notice period on either side that is required. And so that's something to be very cognizant of because it is a vast difference from how UK contracts are looked at. Benefits are employer funded here. There is no legal requirement. As was mentioned before, it's very expensive to have a quality benefits program here, but it is something that US employees expect because it is tied to their employment here. And so they will look to have you offer benefits to them. Biweekly or semi-monthly payments are the norm. You very rarely see once a month payments in the United States. And in fact, it is against the law for a lot of different types of employees to be paid monthly in the United States. So that's a very careful consideration when you're coming over here, and a cash flow consideration. Next slide, please. Okay, so pathways to building your team. Have your own entity, which is something that Tom went into. He helps people set this up, which is fantastic because it is incredibly complex to do. Would never recommend anybody try to do it on their own because you could find yourself behind on stuff that is very important. A second option is employer of record. It does allow you to get a jump start into the US market to test it out, see if it's right for you. That may or may not be right. You may know that you're ready to jump right in with your own entity. There's also the possibility of hiring on contractors that would be paid outside of an employment situation. However, there is a real high risk of misclassification. And again, that classification changes from state to state as well as at the federal level. So before you went to that model, you would really want to speak to someone that could help you ascertain whether you're classifying correctly. Next slide, please. Okay, some of the common pitfalls are assuming the UK law applies. As again was mentioned earlier in the presentations today, US law is very different from UK law, and where the law applies is going to be where your employee is working in the United States. So again, that differs from state to state and can differ by county and city. So it's very important to be aware of what the laws are, where you are hiring your employees, and where your exposure lays here in the United States. The mismatched benefits, right? UK standards in some ways feel very minimal to the US candidates, but in the other ways, it's like leave can often be more than what the US employees are expecting. And so it's important to sort of work closely with someone to make sure that you're aligning your benefits expectations of what you provide to your candidates and your employees and what they're expecting here in the United States. As I mentioned before, hiring too slowly can be a common pitfall. So you want to be able to move quickly when you're looking to hire here. And you don't want to skip that local advice, whether it's with sales tax, accounting, legal, or in the HR realm. You really want to make sure you're speaking to US experts. Next slide, please. Okay, some tips to make it a success. Be very clear about your global vision and your growth. Like the US is looking for growth. Employees here, they want to be able to move along in their career, get promoted, take on more responsibility. Look at localizing your contracts, benefits, onboarding, work with a firm that can help you do all of those things in a way that will be comfortable and familiar to the US staff. Again, biweekly or, as I mentioned, semi-monthly payroll from day one. Invest in early legal and HR advice. Again, Tom's a great legal partner. Briars offers HR assistance. And you really want to partner with experts who know both sides of the Atlantic. Next slide, please. Okay, how we can help you expand into the US market. If you're looking for an EOR model, we can help you out. If you're looking for an entity setup, we would recommend Tom to get all of that set up and then work on the HR side with us. Again, localizing your employment contracts and your onboarding, having your global payroll, tax, and benefits. And we have experience in scaling hundreds of teams across the US and working with things like compliance, employee experience, benefits, all of those pieces, we can help you structure and grow your team in the United States. Next slide, please. So really, this is the contact information to reach out to Briars to get put in touch with us. And, we would love to be able to have conversations with you and happy to talk through what it looks like if you're looking to bring your company to the United States and hire employees.